What if I told you that your daily commute, the ride you take to work or to grab coffee, could actually help pay for someone's life-saving surgery? Well, it's not some far-off futuristic idea. It's a pretty radical new financial model coming out of Nepal. And today, we're going to break down exactly how it's supposed to work.
So let's just start with the big question right up front. Could your daily ride really fund free healthcare for a whole city? I mean, it sounds kind of impossible, doesn't it? But the plan we're looking at today suggests the answer is a very real yes. The core idea is to turn a simple ride hailing app into a nonstop, self funding engine for free medical clinics. All right, so let's get into the big idea here. This isn't just another charity drive or a one time donation campaign. The whole point is to build a permanent, self sustaining system. It's now creating a for profit business that is designed from the ground up for one purpose: to fund a social good forever. And it all hinges on one really clever economic principle. It's called cross subsidization. Now, that might sound a little academic, but it's a super powerful concept. You run a successful, profitable business. But, and this is the key, instead of those profits going to shareholders or foreign investors, they get funneled directly into something the community desperately needs. In this case, that something is free healthcare. And here is exactly how that works. They're calling it the Kalki Sena loop. It's beautifully simple. Step 1, people just use the app for their daily rides, like they already do. Step 2, naturally, the app makes a profit from all those rides. But then comes step 3, and this is the absolute game changer. 100%, literally all of the profit, gets reinvested to fund free health clinics. It's a closed, self-fueling loop. But wait a minute, a project this huge can't just start with profits, right? You need a massive amount of cash just to get it off the ground. So where does that initial money come from? Well, that's where their very clever two-phase funding model comes in. The plan is broken down into two distinct phases. Phase 1 is all about getting started. It's a massive crowdfunding effort to raise seed money directly from the people of Nepal. And this is a huge point for them: zero foreign investment. Then, once everything is up and running, Phase 2 kicks in. This is the long-term play: permanent sustainability powered entirely by the profits from that ride-hailing app. And that initial goal, it's huge. We are talking about 2.5 billion Nepali rupees. To put that in perspective, that's almost 19 million US dollars. The plan is to raise this entire amount by mobilizing 2 million people just from the Kathmandu Valley alone. So how on earth do you raise 2.5 billion rupees from the ground up? Well, check this out. The model asks 2 million people for two things: a really small membership donation of 251 rupees, and to buy a 1,000 rupee ebook. When you run the numbers, that gets you right to the target. It's incredible. It takes this astronomical figure and breaks it down into something that's totally achievable through a grassroots effort. Okay, so once that seed money is raised and the first clinics are open, the project needs that permanent engine we talked about to keep it going. And that engine is a custom-built, Nepali-made ride-hailing app. And the core argument here is just so simple. Why send Nepali money overseas? Right now, when people use foreign-owned apps, the profits generated in Kathmandu get sent abroad. The Kalki Sena app just flips that script completely. The idea is, use our Nepali app, and every single rupee of profit stays right here in Nepal to fund healthcare for Nepalis. And the potential here is just massive. Look at this. We're talking about 400 to 500 million rupees in profit that are already leaving the country every year from existing apps. The goal for the Kalki Sena app isn't just to capture that. It's to double it and generate 1 billion rupees annually to pour directly back into the healthcare system. And get this, they don't even need to dominate the market to make a huge impact. The projections show that if they can capture just 15 to 20% of the market share, that's enough profit to sustainably fund between 100 and 200 clinics every single year. That's incredible. Okay, I know what you're probably thinking. A plan this ambitious, this big, it's bound to have some risks and hurdles, right? It's easy to be skeptical. But what's really impressive here is that the organizers have clearly thought through the biggest challenges and have strategies ready to go. You know, they've asked the tough questions. For instance, what if not enough people sign up at first? No problem, they'll just start smaller with 50 clinics and scale up from there. What about the intense competition from existing apps? Well, their plan is to offer drivers better deals and give users actual health benefits for using the app. For every major risk you can imagine, rising costs, legal issues, low profits, they've already mapped out a potential solution. It's a very pragmatic plan. So, when you start putting all these different pieces together, the crowdfunding, the social enterprise, this healthcare network, it becomes really clear that this is so much more than just a project. It's being presented as a potential prototype for a whole new way of thinking about economics and public service.
And this one quote from the founders, I think, just perfectly captures the massive scale of their vision. They call it Kalkiawad economics, a system where the engine of capitalism is basically hijacked to fund the goals of socialism, all through ethical digital entrepreneurship. It's a genuine hybrid model built for our time.
And while this specific formula feels new, the core idea isn't coming out of nowhere. There are some really successful global parallels. Think about Newman's Own. They've given 100% of their profits to charity for decades. The clothing company Patagonia famously transferred all of its ownership to a nonprofit fighting climate change. And BRAC, a massive NGO in Bangladesh, actually funds about 80% of its own budget through its social enterprises. So this model is really standing on the shoulders of giants.
Which leaves us with this huge final question. Is this the blueprint for the future of public service? A way to actually use market forces to solve our biggest social problems? Or is it a beautiful vision that's just a little too ambitious to actually pull off in the real world? The answer is going to unfold in Nepal, and you can bet it's something the world will be watching. Thanks for tuning in.